What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian. Welcome to Zero Productions. So it looks like the writers for the next two big blockbuster Avengers movies, of that being Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, are out. Jeff Loveness, you guys, and Michael Wardren. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily a bad thing or a good thing, because we can all agree the multiverse in the MCU has been lackluster. It just ultimately has. And I feel like the only project to really, solidify and make it most intriguing and entertaining has been Loki and Spider-Man No Way Home. But that's not saying much. For this being the multiverse saga, we've only had a handful of multiverse projects, which makes it so weird to me that they would announce a multiverse saga with the entirety of Phase 4 and Phase 5 not really dealing with the multiverse. There's still these individual projects on their separate islands that have no continuity between each other. And that's frustrating because you look at the first three phases, everything was connected, everything made sense. It evolved around the Infinity Stones, and it led to Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. But with these next two Avengers movies, you guys, I just don't see how they even coincide with each other, of that being the Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars. Now you can talk about, with Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, of that dealing with incursions and stuff like that, of the multiverse breaking and crossing over and blah, 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 all that crazy stuff. But this is interesting to me, you guys. So Jeff Loveness, you guys, wrote Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium, and he wrote Rick and Morty. Now, we can all agree Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium wasn't the greatest MCU movie. I still think it's the third best out of the Ant-Man franchise. And ultimately, it was a letdown. When I first saw it, I enjoyed it. But after rewatch upon rewatch, it just necessarily didn't do it for me. It didn't. So the writing was very lackluster in that film. I mean, there are a bunch of characters. MODOK, you know what I mean? Just the comedy. It ultimately didn't sit well. And I feel like Jonathan Majors did great for what he was given. I mean, he could have been written so much better. It's just so much monologues I felt like Kang was, involved with in Avengers, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium. So with Jeff Loveness, you guys, leaving, Avengers The Kang Dynasty and, Secret Wars, I think we're okay with that. But the other writer, Michael Wardren, you guys, I mean, he wrote Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. He wrote episodes of Loki, and, Loki is a fan favorite. A lot of people loved season 1. A lot of people are excited for season 2. But losing him, I feel like it will hurt a little bit. But if you can hire better writers, you know what I mean, who can really take on this multiverse task and not feel overwhelmed. Because essentially, look, the Kang Dynasty is rumored to deal with the next up-and-coming Young Avengers, right? The next core group who we're going to see of like Captain America, Miss Marvel, Spider-Man, you name it, right? Shuri as Black Panther, and then Avengers The Secret Wars will be like a legacy film tying and wrapping up the earlier Marvel Fox films. So I'm like, okay, you're going to need somebody who can juggle all of these characters together. It is going to be a lot. And look at Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, you guys. The writers of that, Christopher Marcus and, Stephen McFeely, did a wonderful job, an amazing job writing those films. And then, of course, you had the Russo brothers, to direct those movies. Ultimately, the best combination of both worlds of the writers and directors. But the fact that we don't even have a director for Avengers Secret Wars right now is kind of concerning. But even still, who knows when these movies are coming out? Because at this rate, with the writer strike still going on, and actor strike and SAG-AFTRA, I don't know what's going to happen. I do expect another massive push and delay, with everything coming out next year. Expect, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars not even to hit the release dates. And Kang Dynasty is scheduled for May 1st, 2026, and Secret Wars is scheduled for May 7th, 2027. So I do think that they will swap dates, being pushed back a whole nother year, which is kind of crazy to me. It's insane, But we do have a director for Avengers The Kang Dynasty, of that being Destin Daniel Cretton. He directed, Shang-Chi, which I think is a phenomenal Marvel movie, phenomenal introduction to this brilliant, awesome character. So I'm looking forward to see what he can do for Avengers The Kang Dynasty. But, the talk of the town right now is who is going to be writing these next big movies? Who can handle this multiverse storyline? What's going to happen? A lot of people want the Across from Spider-Verse people, that being Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, to write these movies. Look how well they are doing these multiverse, storylines. They are phenomenal. phenomenal. And these are the guys you do want to write your movies when you're dealing with the multiverse. I know Kevin Feige was, really sold on the Rick and Morty people. I really never understood that aspect of, them transferring over and writing these massive Marvel projects. Rick and Morty and Marvel projects are so entirely different. I never really understood that. But you do want to grab those writers, because I'm pretty sure they're already done writing Beyond the Spider-Verse, which is going to be delayed. I would, as soon as the SAG-AFTRA strike is all done, I would hire them immediately to start working on these next 2 Avengers movies, so we can get the ball rolling on these movies. Because it's insane to me that it's gonna be damn near almost 8 to 10 years since we get the next Avengers movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy to think that. But with everything happening, like I said, with the strikes, it's very daunting right now, even for any actor or any writer. They can't hire nobody, and I feel like my channel is suffering from this strike as well, because there ain't shit to talk about. Like nothing, no news, no new news, you know what I mean? So it's affecting everybody, you guys, all content creators. I see it. Some of my favorite content creators aren't putting out as much as content, as they were before the strike and stuff like that. So it is hitting everybody, you guys. It is. And there's a lot of talk of the town of people who want, who should be directing Secret Wars. Because ultimately, like I said, it's a legacy film. You need somebody who can handle and juggle all these characters together. Of that being, Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, who was rumored to have, had spoken to Kevin Feige prior to the strikes about a massive role. Or, Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. It's going to be a massive culmination of these beloved characters returning for Avengers Secret Wars. And I'll be honest with you, as of right now, I'd rather see those legacy characters, including Deadpool and, everybody returning, Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I'd rather see them in Avengers Secret Wars than the new up-and-coming Avengers. Like, I love Sam Wilson as Captain America, don't get me wrong, great. But the lineup isn't intriguing. It's not like hype level. It's not, is Thor even an Avenger anymore? I know Hulk isn't, just thinking about the lineup of like Miss Marvel, She-Hulk, Ironheart, Shuri Black Panther, it's just not intriguing at all. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only fan who feels that way. But so much to discuss, you guys. Thank you for sticking around and tuning around on today's video. Let me know what you guys think. Who should be coming in as the new writers for Avengers The Kang Dynasty and Avengers Secret Wars? Thoughts and opinions, you guys? Push your comments down below. Let me know. Peace.